Welcome back to the deep dive. So we usually find ourselves navigating, these dense corporate reports or maybe tracing historical policy.
The heavy stuff.
The heavy stuff, exactly. But today, we have a single and, I think, beautiful piece of source material. It's a real-world instructional dialogue between two people just making dinner.
Spicy tomato pasta, to be exact.
Spicy tomato pasta. And our mission today is, well, it's a bit unusual, but I think it's essential. We're diving deep into how intermediate level English, that B1-B2 level, actually functions under a bit of pressure.
Right, in a collaborative setting.
Yes, exactly. We're going to use this really simple conversation as a blueprint. We'll isolate the strong verbs, the clear sequencing cues, and, the words that just immediately signal competence.
Think of it as a shortcut to mastering the language of collaboration, whether you're, I don't know, directing a recipe or managing a project.
That's brilliant.
This source is just fantastic because it shows competence, not just comprehension. B1 language is often about survival. Can you ask for directions?
Can you order food?
Can you order food? But B2 is about cooperation. It's about context. It's explaining why you need something done a certain way. So we're really studying the linguistic architecture that lets Alex, the chef, guide Sam, the helper, so well. And that initial exchange, it immediately sets the stakes. I mean, they're high stakes for Sam, at least. He says, I'm starving.
Right. That gives it some urgency.
It does. It gives gravity to the task, and we jump right into the goal. Tonight, we are making my famous spicy tomato pasta.
I love how Alex sets that tone. It's declarative. It establishes ownership, my famous pasta, and it sets a very clear goal. So let's look at how the roles get defined as we move into the prep stage and, of course, the ingredients.
Well, Sam's immediate reply is just a great phrase for anyone to have, born ready.
Yeah, it's so enthusiastic.
It is. It conveys that readiness, that willingness. But then, right after that, Sam uses this crucial piece of B2 self-awareness. He says, I'm not exactly a master chef.
Ah, okay. That's a key line.
It is.
So why is that specific phrase so important? Why should you, our listener, have that in your conversational toolbox?
Well, it just manages expectations so beautifully. If you're starting any shared task and you want to show you're willing, but also, acknowledge your lack of expertise, that phrase is perfect.
Right.
It lets the leader, Alex in this case, adjust the clarity of their instructions without sounding like patronizing or causing offense. It just lubricates the whole process.
It's a social lubricant. Okay,
Yeah.
So once the roles are clear, the action starts. Alex goes right to the prep work. First, we need to prep the ingredients.
Simple, essential.
Yeah.
And then we get the first core instructional verb,
Okay.
chop. Alex gives a clear imperative, but it's softened a bit with, can you? Can you chop the onions and the garlic?
That feels very B1, a basic instruction.
It is, but the conversation immediately elevates to B2 because Sam asks for clarification. He says, how small should I chop them?
And this is where the magic happens, right? The instruction goes from just a command to a lesson in context. Alex gives the specific detail and, crucially, the reason.
Yes. Finally, please. We want them to melt into the sauce.
We want them to melt into the sauce.
Exactly. And we need to underscore this for you listening. A B1 speaker might just say, chop the onions, but an effective B2 collaborator gives the action and the intended consequence.
So the instruction isn't just about the action, the chopping.
No, it's about the result, melting into the sauce. This is that structural framework we talked about. Action linked to purpose. It makes the helper feel more invested because now they understand the why.
And while all this is happening, while Sam is, crying over the onion.
Yeah, that's a great little human moment.
It is. He comments on how strong they are, and Alex has this little bit of dry humor. That means they're fresh.
And that shared moment, that little joke, it's a vital part of B2 interaction. Collaboration isn't robotic. These small social things build trust, and they make the strict instructions that follow, easier to take.
So we've established the roles, we've prepped the ingredients, and we've used our first strong verb, chop. Okay, prep is done. Now we shift gears to the heat. Alex moves to the pan, setting up the cooking environment. The pan is hot. I'm adding some olive oil. Now toss in the onions.
I love that phrase, toss in.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's a really good choice there. It feels more fluid, more energetic than just saying put in.
It is. It's a dynamic phrasal verb. When you use verbs like toss in or whisk together, you just sound more like a native speaker who is comfortable in the context of what you're doing. It adds energy.
Okay, so the onions are in. What's next?
The next piece of language is all about timing. Alex says, we need to saute the onions until they are soft.
Ah, that word until.
Linguistically, it's crucial. It defines the end point of this step and the starting point of the next one. It's an explicit sequencing cue, which is vital for clear directions.
So Sam is making a logical guess here, though. He asks, do we add the spices now? Because, it's spicy tomato pasta. You'd think you'd want to add them early.
That is a fantastic question, and it gets right to the heart of the technique. Alex corrects the timing. Not yet.
Why not?
Because if you add the chili flakes too early, while the onions are still stiff, the direct heat can just burn the spice. You get a bitter taste. The correct sequence is wait for the onions to get soft, release their moisture, then add the flavor agents.
So once the onions are soft, in go the chili flakes to give the dish a nice kick.
Another great B2 phrase. It's colloquial, but it's a really accurate way to describe a satisfying heat.
And then the conversation shifts to the core technique. Sam asks, so what's the secret to this recipe?
Ah, the ultimate hook. And this brings us to the most technically precise verb in the whole conversation, the real secret to the sauce.
Which is?
Simmer. Alex explains, the secret is to let the sauce simmer on low heat for at least 20 minutes.
Okay, that verb, simmer, is doing some heavy lifting there. It's a specialized word. Why not just say, cook it slowly? What does simmer imply that cook slowly doesn't?
Simmer implies precision, restraint. It means cooking just below boiling. It's a technical culinary term, and it shows expertise. Using it makes you sound like you know exactly what you're doing.
It's like the difference between saying drive slowly and maintain a speed of 35 miles per hour.
Exactly. One is vague, the other is professional and accurate. And connecting back to our framework, Alex reinforces the purpose. That brings out all the flavors.
Action and consequence.
The action simmer for 20 minutes is tied directly to the desirable consequence, which is maximum flavor. This is the key takeaway for giving clear instructions.
If you can master that trifecta, action, duration, and consequence, you can teach anyone anything.
You're not just reciting a recipe anymore, you're teaching a structured process.
Exactly. That structural scaffold is what turns functional B1 English into collaborative, context-aware B2 English. So the sauce has been simmering, the kitchen smells amazing.
And Sam even says so, smells amazing already.
And we move into the final stage, the pasta itself, which brings us to our third segment, the final touches and evaluation.
Alex shifts focus to the pasta and uses a very specific piece of vocabulary that has totally migrated from Italian into standard English cooking.
Al dente.
Al dente. And because Alex is focused on clear communication, they immediately define it for Sam. It means firm to the bite.
It's introduced, used, and clarified all in one go. No room for misunderstanding.
Exactly. So they drain the pasta, toss it in the sauce, and now the task is done. The language shifts again from instruction to sensory appreciation, evaluation.
Right, and Sam uses these really strong descriptive adjectives. Look at that color, it looks absolutely delicious.
And that word, delicious, it's the high-impact adjective you want. It's so much more elevated than just good.
Totally. So as they're about to eat, Alex gives one last bit of practical instruction.
Be careful, it's hot.
Yeah.
Simple, essential. And then we get the moment of truth, the taste test. This is where the language of feedback really shines.
And the final verdict is the real payoff. Sam's feedback isn't just a vague compliment. It's balanced and detailed.
Wow. That is incredible. It's spicy, but not too hot.
Spicy, but not too hot. That is a perfect B2 example.
It is. It's effective communication. Sam validates Alex's goal, that the dish would be spicy, while also confirming that the flavor is balanced and enjoyable. He uses that contrasting word, but. It confirms success without exaggeration. It proves the collaboration worked.
And the whole deep dive really culminates in Alex's final thought on the process. Food always tastes better when you cook it together.
It frames the whole thing as a shared experience, not just a technical process.
So to synthesize this for you, our listener, what we found is that this simple conversation gives you a really robust blueprint for giving and receiving instructions.
It moved from establishing roles to setting goals to providing action, timing cues, and maybe most importantly, the consequence of those actions.
Yeah.
So when you adopt the language we've highlighted, the precision of verbs like chop and simmer, the collaborative tone, the clarity of defining your ingredients in your recipe, you just instantly sound more competent. You move past that B1 survival stage.
And into a place where you can genuinely connect, create, and collaborate.
With B2 conversational mastery, yeah.
You've got an architectural template here that you can apply immediately. Next time you're in any collaborative activity, Try to use this structure. Set a goal, outline the steps, link your actions to clear results, and then evaluate the outcome.
Hmm.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on. Beyond the kitchen, how could you apply this precise structure to teach someone a completely new skill? What strong verbs would you use? What would be your equivalent of simmer, that non-negotiable, time-consuming technical step?
Oh, that's interesting.
And what kind of precise, balanced feedback would you want them to give you once they've finished the task? Master the structure, and you master the conversation. We'll catch you next time for the next deep dive.